Get cocktail conversations, candid insights from startup founders, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders from around the globe.
My name is Matthew Inman, and I run a website called The Oatmeal. The Oatmeal is a website full of comics, mostly. There's a lot of illustrated stories, some quizzes and things like that. It's basically, it's kind of like a creative dump for me to put anything I can come up with. Not really. If I had one, I think I would hit it by now. Mostly it's just to make funny comics and keep being funny, go from there. I don't know. When I write, it does. When I speak, it does sometimes. But like growing up, I was never the funny one. I was kind of the mean, grumpy one. But somehow that translated to being funny when I make comics. Not really. It always feels like in the comic I wrote that for me, creativity and inspiration are like food poisoning. They just kind of show up out of nowhere. So when it's your job to be creative, on a schedule, that can get kind of hard. I've always been, I guess, a creative person. I've always been someone who doodles and someone who writes and someone who's continually making things. So I suppose I am. Yeah, it's hard because, it's like sometimes I feel like, who is this? I have this huge audience to please now. And so you almost feel like this responsibility to them. But I've just tried to do what I've always done, and that is I make comics for me. I make comics that I would want to read and that I would think are funny or compelling, and hopefully that my thoughts about the comic will coincide with my readers. And sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. The biggest advantage is, with the way the web works now, with Facebook and Twitter especially, you can kind of control these. You can harness all these people. You have them waiting for you to put something out. So an advantage there is even if I put out a crap comic, and I do every now and then, I have hundreds of thousands of people who will still read it. So that's nice. That's kind of a guaranteed audience rather than starting from scratch each time and hoping people like it and hoping it gets spread. It'll get shown up anyway. The biggest disadvantage of that audience is, like I said before, this kind of continual pressure of keep being funny, more jokes, and I've always thought that every time I make a joke, that's my last one. Like every time I write a comic, I'm always like, that's the last comic, I got no jokes left, that's the end of me. And I've thought about the first comic I made, and I thought that about the 500th comic I made, and I don't know if it's true, maybe it is. I mean, a lot of artists have their season, now it seems to be mine, and when that season's over, I'll go, do something else. Oh, I don't know, maybe a healthy mix of both. So I don't know, even if I couldn't, it'd be hard for me to fail dramatically now. I think it wouldn't be a huge thing, it would just be me slowly getting lamer and lamer. And, it'd be like a TV show that's 20 seasons in, you're like, come on guys, what else do you have left to say? I think if I do fail, that will be it. I'll just be kind of this old, tired voice. So my plan is to quit before I become old and tired and maybe only do the Oatmeal for a couple of years. It's funny, actually. I was just reading this quote from Louis C.K. about farts, and he was describing how he has no kind of snobbery about what humor he makes, what jokes he makes. And he says that fart jokes are wonderful. It's like this trumpet sound that comes out of someone's body and smells bad. It's like the perfect joke, and he just shamelessly uses them. So I agree with him. And same with poop jokes. I make comics that are compelling and heartwarming and sad and smart, and then I just make some that are loaded full of poop jokes, and I'm completely fine with that. And regarding cats, it seems to me that cats, as soon as you introduce one into your comic, every single reader from then on is like, more cats, more cats. It kind of becomes the battle cry. I think cats are very kind of, they kind of cast a wide net in terms of who likes them. Like with a dog's more polarizing. You have small dogs, you have big dogs, you have Rottweilers, you have Chihuahuas. But cats, if I draw a cat, it could look like your cat, it could look like her cat, it could be anybody's cat. So that makes them great for comedy. How to Suck at Your Religion was one that I really enjoyed because it was written very quickly, and it's one of those comics where when I write them, I don't iterate, and I don't screw with it, and I don't rewrite it, and I don't spend weeks and weeks on it. I just write it once, and it preserves that visceral tone. And that comic was one of those. I stayed up till 3 o'clock in the morning. I was so excited about it, and I launched it, and everybody loved it, or at least everybody that, agrees with me in terms of my religious principles. So recently, that's one of my favorites. Other than that, my most recent comic about my house burning down was kind of a new favorite of mine, because it was a complete departure from anything I'd ever done. Being, it was a story, and it was it wasn't just a bunch of, like I said, poop jokes, even though there are some in there. So that's kind of my recent favorite. Not treating social media as, how do I want to put this? Not using a normal human voice when you use Twitter and Facebook and those kinds of things. I see a lot of these brands that they get on their Facebook page, and every other post they make is a coupon, a code, or something like that. And I found if you write there like you would talk to someone in person, it works a lot better, and it makes it more human. Furthermore, one thing that's not necessarily a big mistake, something that drives me crazy, is everyone seems so preoccupied with getting likes and tweets. And they go around begging everybody, like, can you please just tweet this? Please just like this. And they put all this energy into this social media campaign, and their focus is on social media. When, really, if you take all that energy you're putting in your social media campaign and just made your thing better, become a better writer, draw better pictures, make better software, you will probably see more success than that. Like, I've never asked for a tweet in my life, and I never plan on it. I get more tweets because I write things that, I work on making my writing funnier rather than working on convincing other people to like things for me.